Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium, CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Lawless abortions. Though abortion recommendations are given regularly by doctors in the United Kingdom to women on grounds of mental health, recently published information in the medical field only supports moral law on the subject, saying they are illegal. Dr. Peter Sanders, Chief Executive of Christian Medical Fellowship, reiterates the findings of the study by pointing out that abortion does not improve mental health outcomes for women with unplanned pregnancies. According to healthcanal.com, the study was conducted by 4 researchers and published by the Academy of Medical Royal Colleges, and confirms that doctors who approve abortions on the grounds of, quote, mental health are committing to a misdiagnosis not based on scientific fact. 98% of the 200,000 abortions every year in the United Kingdom are carried out on so-called mental health grounds, making them violations of law according to this most recently published information. You can read more about this study on our resource page by clicking on the link right outside the screen. Signs of life. A law to protect the unborn is only a heartbeat away as Ohio's Senate considers a new bill. HudsonHubTimes.com is reporting the senators are being shown an ultrasound of a child 21 days after conception that has a perfectly recognizable heartbeat, begging the question, if the heartbeat is a universally identifiable sign of life, wouldn't it be murder to abort the child? Christine Link, executive director of the American Civil Liberties Union in Ohio, dismisses the effort to recognize when life begins, saying, quote, lawmakers should seriously consider whether it is worth wasting taxpayer dollars on costly litigation simply to earn a few political points, end quote. Abortion activists are threatening to file lawsuits if the heartbeat bill passes or any other Republican-backed abortion-related bill. Fighting the new imperialism. Some African nations are squaring off against the United Kingdom, rejecting laws that reflect British moral and cultural practices. According to Vanguard News, the recent threats of British Prime Minister David Cameron to remove foreign aid from any country that refuses to make homosexuality lawful is only setting some states of the Commonwealth in Africa against him. Nigeria has stepped to the forefront of the fight against legalizing homosexuality, sending a clear message to Prime Minister Cameron and the Obama administration that their laws and moral code are not for sale, despite enticing financial incentives to abandon them. The Minister of Information in Nigeria, Mr. Labaran Maku, defends his country as an independent nation, saying, quote, we reserve the right to make laws without apologies to anyone. Our laws will be guided by our own interests and values. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
Funding cultural change, the spread of cultural imperialism continues to march across the African continent, and Malawi is no exception. The African nation is announcing that it will consider changing its laws against homosexuality after being vilified by Barack Obama last year for jailing 2 men sentenced to 14 years in prison for holding an engagement ceremony. The Malawi Prime Minister's announcement is already being condemned by several of the 37 countries on the continent where homosexuality is still illegal. While no laws have yet been changed in the country, the decision comes after threats from the United States, which gives Malawi about $200 million a year in healthcare aid, and Britain, to use their influence to force a culture change. Not so neutral. Colorado University is planning on expanding its recreation center in the spring, which will also include enlarging its gender-neutral locker room in the building, according to dailycamera.com. You heard right. And actually, they aren't the only ones to have such accommodations already in place for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender students on campus. Grinnell University in Iowa has dorm situations specifically set aside for them, according to campusprogress.org. Earlier this fall, Gretchen Carlson from the show Fox and Friends pointed out, quote, "One little tiny percent of society is causing essentially the whole world to change," end quote. So while 107 Catholic colleges in America are following suit across the country by encouraging homosexual activist clubs on campus, more laws are being considered in different states, like a recently passed bill in Massachusetts that makes LGBT citizens a protected class. And finally, get real this Christmas and all year long. Just another reminder, with only a few more shopping days till Christmas, if you'd like to give the gift of a RealCatholicTV.com premium membership to a bishop, priest, seminarian, sister, or religious community, just click on the link just outside the screen to find out about our half-price program. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And be sure to check out The Vortex today, where Michael talks about so-called homophobia and how it labels everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.